Hello everybody, welcome back. Today I will be finally talking more about 3D printer because finally, after a lot of attempts, I got it to work. Partially. I'll explain. So, first for those who aren't following, you can access the playlist up here. It's a playlist of my father bet. I also bet to my father, so every day for 15 days I will make a video a topic to a video format, any topic really. But the catch is there's in four languages: in English, Portuguese, Spanish, and the most difficult, at least for now, Russian. So yeah, I'll be doing it for sometimes it's a 13 day. So we're almost at the end. But I need to complete one of the first topic of talking about 3D printer. Back then, yeah, say 10 days ago, I got 3D printer and I tested out a lot. And I make these cubes. These are the test cubes to calibration cubes. So X, Y, Z, Z. I mean, there's a lot of pronunciations for those, but those three letters. But let's call X, Y, and Z. Okay, so you can see the Z axis is not bad, not bad, I would say. Sadly, my camera won't focus, but let me get the camera up here. Okay, so as you can see, the camera, but I got the Z to work really well. Sadly, my camera won't focus, but anyway, it got real well. But that's not the problem. This is on the first attempt. The bottom half is missing a lot of layers. That's why you can see the actual infill inside. It got the elephant foot problem. So I find it really strange. I'm using like at this time I was using like 60 degrees, which is not supposed to be that hot. So I mean, I still use 60 degrees, and for some reason it does not make much of the problem. But and the real problem becomes when you see the X. Oh, finally, we focus a bit. As you can see, it has a very rough quality, a very problem quality. But when you go to Y, oh boy, if my camera would be able to focus on it, I think you can already see the outline at least. Let me explain. It's supposed to be quite perfect or almost perfect, but when it prints the Y, it was printing Y, the top part here uh, simply was a mess of layers. It's not calibrated. For some reason, one part is way bigger than another. It's, yeah, it's really bad. It's a bad cube overall. So this is like the first tempered cube. Turns out pretty bad. But I did not give up for more time. And after a ton of cubes, I could got a collection of these. Like, I mean, how many people you know has made many cubes? And I could play dice pretty well with them, even though there are just three options. I test different filaments. I test a lot of different settings. And let's see, what's the most recent? Technically, the most recent is in mine is one because I said second 3D printer. The problem is that it couldn't print, so that's not a problem. You can see this piece on its half because the printer suddenly just turn it off itself, and it misses the top punch. I have this piece printed, so let me pause the video to get it because I forgot. So by contrast, you can see what the problem is. The printer actually I got here yesterday, I think. Yes, yesterday. And I didn't print in the printer itself. It was my printer since we have two printers. There's quote unquote my printer and there's quote unquote father's printer. That's because if I want to make a really long project, and it's a really big project. It takes months to print basically, since it's a 1.8 meters project. So a lot of things to print. But yeah, I printed on mine, so which is like eh, not such big products. As you can see, it's far from perfect. There's a bit of warping on the these parts specifically. As you can see, it's not exactly. Also, I think it's ghosting. I don't really know how to diagnose the ghosting. Far from perfect, but a really good piece for our standards. And then I started to print benches. Um, I heard so much about benches, so I started printing them to see if it work. First, I printed on my printer. As you can see, the two printers. So I did this yesterday. So there's two printers. You can see by the filament and the fireworks filament. Use the petrol green, and mine use silver, which looks like gray. So I had this. I would call a half Sussex. It's a really good model. I think it's turned out really beautiful. Actually, yeah, this is the first problem. This is the first one. Some filaments got stuck. As you can see, this is actually stuck on the bottom. Early problem in the print. So far from perfect, this one. So I did a bit of adjustment, a really, really tiny bit. Turned out better, but I still didn't got this top right because it just became a problem to dismantle. So probably something about um, bridging. So that's a problem. But I would call this pretty much half win because it turned out so smooth, turned out so great really that I consider this a win. But the father's one had a problem. Um, it's not so tiny problem, as where it did this. For some reason, the printer simply stuck on a loop, and it began to do this, just doing this, not moving Y, not there, just doing this. You can see we didn't notice until kind of far away, but we didn't really know. There's no. We are using the same archive, so it shouldn't be a problem. I just switch out the SDs, the connections. So I used where I was using my printer in the photos print, and it turned out the only bench really here. Far from perfect again. As you can see, stringing. I will call the half this bottom rough. The quality was 0.2. You can't read nothing, and it's stuck. I mean, I don't know why, but it just stuck. But I pretty much can't get this thing out of the um, from base because it's stuck. But I call this pretty much a win. So clean in comparison. This is the cleanest thing I ever got. The pipe looks, yeah, everything looks really good. Then I created some more of those bearings I tried to do, tiny versions of course. I got, for a reminder, this is what happened before. It does not work, okay? This is not the latest version, but the earliest version. Again, I'm not modeling this, but you can see a lot of problems of my printer. And then I printed out these beauties. So clean, so smooth, so beautiful, really. Sadly, it still doesn't work. I don't know why. I think I saw some, I can see inside, uh, definitely found, yeah, it's also got stuck. Each one, you can't see because this won't focus, but yeah, it's not working. And this one, for some reason, it connects so well to the base. It actually, I think you can see a bit black tint. This is the base. Just stuck so well with the bearing. Basically became the bearing. But it looks a really clean thing. If this did work really, it will be a massive success. It didn't, so it's not a massive success. But I think I will be able to print things again. Um, for example, my gear, which I broke this purposely, you can see it's warped and the clean. I mean, it was clean, but not as clean as I wanted to. So I can print this again, actually. And maybe at the end of the challenge, I may have the differential to work with. Um, but for now, I can say it's a pretty much success. The two printers are working. The two are working fine, really. A lot of adjustments can go through, but after a lot of fails, I have two bottles of few fails. Bottles, sorry. I have two containers full of fails. I think this is a pretty massive win to I be able to print anything I want. Yeah, kind of, relatively. So that's pretty much it. Again, make sure you check out the rest of the playlist to see other things I said and other topics, and of course from the other languages. And feel free to subscribe and like this video and comment down below your experience with 3D printers, the best settings. I definitely need advice on this. For some reason, it ironed this part of the boat. For some reason, it turned out really beautiful, but it ironed out this, and I don't know why. Again, it turned out really beautiful, like really smooth. But well, that's it for now. Mm. Again, comment down below, subscribe, and I see you later. Bye!